Exactly. Oh, I just got a notice that this meeting is being live streamed, so hopefully we should be getting the go ahead here in just a second. Michelle or Lauren, I'm just waiting to hear from you that we're good to go.
One of my followers he says the YouTube's working.
Great. Followers, Dan?
Okay. Yes, I have a group of people that like to keep track of me.
That's
I'm so
great.
special.
Hang up so I can talk to you.
Okay.
That's a lot of weight to carry on your shoulders like that.
Oh, I've been doing it for so long, I don't think much about it anymore.
Just kind of in the background existing.
Yep.
Dan needs to be watched very closely.
I don't cause trouble. That's Rolando's job.
But it's fun.
We do get into some interesting perspectives in this business.
We do.
All right, we've got the go-ahead. Live stream is up, so we are going to start this pre-convention meeting of the Legislative Priorities Committee. And just a reminder, this is not an official meeting where we're doing actual business. This is planning, this is brainstorming, this is preparing for Monday when we do gavel in. So just so everyone is aware of that. I am going to introduce the team that I've put together who are going to be helping us complete this work for the committee, just because I want you all to know who they are, and also give you their contact details after this meeting so that you are able to reach out if there's something that they can do to help you. So first up is going to be my vice chair, and that is Ms. Danielle Cather. If you'd like to say hello and just introduce yourself very quickly.
Hi, I'm Danielle Cather. My name says Danielle Blair because I recently got married, and now I'm Danielle Cather, but I have the privilege of serving here in SD4 alongside Rachel and also Loretta, which is also one of your committee members. And so it's my honor to serve as the vice chair of this Legislative Priorities Committee. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Danielle. And next is going to be Selena Sauter, and she's going to be serving as our secretary. Go ahead.
Hello, Selena Sauter. I'm SD11 with our prospective Attorney General, Mays Middleton, and Henry Bonner is also on this committee. We love being an SD11, love working with all of you, and I look forward to meeting all of you.
Thank you. And serving as parliamentarian, we have Wilma May. Go ahead, Miss Wilma.
Hi, I'm Wilma May. I'm from SD10, and I will be happy to serve as your parliamentarian. I look forward to meeting you guys and working with all of you for the great state of Texas.
Thank you. All right, so getting down to the schedule I sent for this evening for this meeting, I'm going to move on to our standing rules. We did go over those at a previous meeting. We haven't adopted anything, but before we get there on Monday, I wanted to do one last check to see if there are any edits or changes you'd like to see as a committee to those standing rules, so that whenever we're ready to get to work, that's something that we can quickly cover and adopt and get to work. So now would be the time if you have questions, comments, edits, changes you'd like to make to those standing rules. All right, hearing none. Going to move on to the schedule. I believe everyone should have received the proposed.
Sorry, Rachel, can I just interrupt really quick? Sorry, I'm having a
Sure.
hard time toggling between the screens. Could you just quickly address, and I apologize because I can't pull it up at the moment. What do we have any rules regarding invited testimony?
We do not. We had discussed having invited testimony, but we never did place anything about that in our rules.
So will that just be up to vote at convention, excuse me?
As of now, yes, unless we change the rules.
Okay, I don't know if there's anybody else in the body who feels like it's important to make a rule or what the tradition is. So I've never done this before, so I'm willing to learn from those who are wiser than me.
All right.
So Rachel, a quick question that associated with that. Is there been a person or entity group that has been set up to start accepting that schedule, or are we not going to do that until Monday?
I believe we are not going to open it until Mondays to give everyone, you know, a fair shot at signing up to give testimony. And then we have a way to track it once we do open it up.
Okay.
And I did also communicate in a past meeting that if there are legislators or, you know, people like that who want to arrange a time to come and testify, that I'm happy to try and work with them and figure out a way that we can get there in a timely fashion. But like I said, we do want everyone who wishes to testify to have that opportunity. So if you have someone who would like to do that, please send them my way. I see Richard Henson has his hand up. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you for calling on me. Yes, we have our county judge is planning to come on Monday afternoon to testify. Does he need to make an appointment in advance with you?
He does not. He doesn't need to at all. He just needs to sign up just like everyone else, and he can get in line and testify.
Okay, and then that would be when he arrives at this point. When he arrives.
Well, he can do it on Monday morning when we publish the form to sign up.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Great answer.
Sure, sure. Dan, I think you were next.
Yeah. In the last session, when we had what we call invited testimony, most of it came about on our last day or so, where we brought in people like Bob Hall and all to help clarify some things on a specific issues during our discussions, not the public information side of it as far as testimony, but to help us to understand some things and clarify a lot of what was going on. And we had some other subject matter experts that we knew that helped us quite a bit in bringing that along. And I think that worked. I liked how that worked.
I think that sounds like a great option, and that leaves as much time available open for delegates and alternates who wish to
Correct.
testify as well. So I'm a fan of that. Rolanda?
Yes, on the issue of the subcommittees and reporting out no more than 6 bullet points.
Oh, we'll get there. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean in regard to the rules?
Yes.
Got you.
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay.
Oh, so when it says no more than 6 bullet points, is that 6 topics or 6 bullet points to one priority? Because, for example, the subcommittee that's handling property tax is also covering a couple other topics.
One priority.
Okay, so no more than 6 bullet points per priority.
Right. So if it's ban taxpayer funded lobbying, let's try not to have more than 6 bullet points under that one.
Okay, so like property, so the committee handling property tax is also handling gambling and a couple other issues. So we could do property tax with 6 bullet points and then also do another gambling. Okay.
Correct. Correct.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. That was a good question. Thank you. I'm sure that needed to be clarified. So thank you for that. All right. Any other questions about rules before we move on? me just check the chat here.
I have a question. I don't know how to wave, but
Okay.
that's not my question.
Okay.
It's Paula.
Paula, okay.
Yeah, just for clarification, on the rules, it says that testimony will be limited to 2 minutes. But then it goes on to say that delegates and alternates cannot speak for a total of more than 15 minutes on multiple topics. So my question is that 15 minutes over the course of the entire week we're taking testimony, or
Per
is
day.
that at a time?
Per day.
No, that's
Per
going to be
day?
per day.
Okay.
So you can sign
Should
up
it-
multiple times to testify, but people who have not testified yet will have priority. If there's no one waiting to testify who hasn't had a chance yet and you want to testify again, then you're welcome to do that.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
I mean, not really. So somebody
Okay.
could go on for 15 minutes while there's people waiting to test.
Absolutely not. They can only go on for 2 minutes.
2
and
minutes
that will
at
be
a
their
time.
Correct.
Okay, 2 minutes at a time, but they can come back if there's nobody else waiting to speak again on a different topic, different issue.
Well, just who hasn't had a chance to speak yet.
Speak.
We're going to let all the first times go.
That's what I
And
mean.
then if you want to testify again, you can get back in line.
In 2 minute increments.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Janira.
Hello, thank you. So for the sake of simplicity, there would be a timekeeping issue. For instance, if you spoke for 1 minute on one item and the next time you spoke for 2 minutes, could we say you couldn't speak more than 7 or 8 times in a day? In other words, because like 15 minutes doesn't even work out to an even amount of issues.
Yeah, it doesn't divide by 2.
So yeah, it doesn't divide by 2. So if we did something, instead of putting a 15-minute time limit, we said something like could not speak on more than 7 different topics in one day.
Well, we wouldn't want to say topics because if
Or
I want to
issues.
use, my 2
Issues.
minutes to talk 1 minute about 2 topics, I could do that. We certainly could change the time limit from 15 minutes to
14 or
7
16.
turns or 14 or 16, a multiple of 2. That's fine.
Yeah, I just think for simplicity, because that has come up to me, is how do we time keep? If it were speaking no more than X number of times, it would be easier for us to track anyway.
Okay, I'm open to that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, go ahead.
If I can unmute, real quick on Monday, our sign-up sheet, is that going to be after roll call? I mean, after the call of committee, it'll be open? What time?
11.
11. Yeah, thank you. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Okay, well then I'm going to change the rules to reflect a 14-minute time limit then instead of 15 minutes so that we have that multiple issue taken care of. Eileen?
I just wanted to clarify, are we saying we're holding off reserving invited testimony until Wednesday?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if the committee wants to invite someone to come in and give testimony on a topic that they're considering during our committee time, like Dan talked about, I think that's up to the committee.
Okay. And
y'all can approve that.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Anything else for rules? Destin?
Hey, Rachel. Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. My question is just, will the subcommittees be having any testimony at all, or is this going to happen just before the committee as a whole?
Before the committee as a whole. because we want all delegates to hear all the testimony. Janera.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So I'm sorry to harp on this. So you said we're changing it to 14 minutes max time per day.
Correct.
So the issue again is if somebody speaks for 1 minute on one topic and then 1.5 minutes on another topic and then 2 minutes, we're going to have to time keep. But if we limited them to a certain amount of times they can testify in one day, that would resolve timekeeping issues. I just want to throw that out there.
I believe we have someone here who was previously a timekeeper.
But cumulative timekeeping?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Because they volunteered to be the timekeeper again.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to see how.
If we just, okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's the method they used previously. So I understand perfectly what you're saying. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is
Richard, were you next? I
Yeah,
think.
thank you for calling on me. So back to invited testimony. Can that come, the invitations come from subcommittees, or does it have to be approved by a vote in this committee to have an invited testimony?
That's a
Or
good
can an
question for
individual-
y'all. Anyone care to give their 2 cents on that?
I would think that we would want to get the entire committee's agreement, at least from a clarity point of view, a transparency. I'm sorry, is the word I was looking for.
All right, so we have one for the entire committee voting on it. Do we have anyone against having the entire committee? Dan?
I would.
Go ahead, speak. I'll speak after you speak.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Richard Henson, SD2, Bob Hall's district. I would think that there is some value in subcommittees inviting testimony because the other committees, the people that are not in that committee would not have privy to what we've been discussing. And there would be value in having the subcommittee invite testimony.
And approve it, vote to approve it, you're saying?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The last convention, we didn't have the subcommittees broke out like you have. We didn't have that. It was always the committee of the whole. So invited testimony was normally somebody had got hold of 1 or 2 of us members and asked us to ask the chair for the privilege of that person speaking, which is the way we handled it. But I think Richard brings up a good point. When we break out of these subcommittees, it may be advantageous for us to have maybe some dialogue back and forth with some subject matter experts while we're in our subcommittee. But as we do that, when we report back as a subcommittee to the committee of the whole, we may suggest, hopefully we could suggest at that time that we could go and have invited testimony that helped us understand some points of it and then bring it to the entire committee in the same way. That way everybody's on the same page. And the delegates would see what that testimony is also. So it's just a concept there that we got to figure out a little bit how to do it and we can't have too much interaction with people outside of our subcommittees because we don't have that much time really as a subcommittee to work on all the pieces to it. So it should be real limited, I would think. Just some thoughts.
Go ahead, Brian.
All right, on the timekeeping issue, last time we did 2 minutes per person. They could talk on one subject for those 2 minutes. And after they finished their time, they could sign back up and testify again on another subject, as long as we weren't, because we had a running roll that was on the board. And if we were on that running that item, that priority, then they could testify on that priority. And then they went back in the cycle again after they finished their 2 minutes if they wanted to speak on another priority. but it was limited to that one priority at a time. And that way it avoided confusion. And when we were testifying about one priority, that was the one we testified about, and that was it. And it was for
So you're
2
saying
minutes
they
per
cannot-
person.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
So you're saying they cannot speak twice on the same topic? Is that what you're saying?
If they speak on that one topic and then they finish their 2 minutes, they could get back in line and speak again as long as nobody else was left to speak on that topic again in the line. If they couldn't take 2 minutes, then wait a person and then get back in line whenever there was 4 other people in line waiting to
Okay.
speak on that topic. They could get back in line, but it was they couldn't take 2 minutes and wait one person to take 2 more minutes than another person. They couldn't skip in line, in other words.
As
After
long
they
as that
finished,
topic was open, they could continue to speak on it if there were no one else in front of them to speak, right? Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. I got you. I've never
And they
been
had to
I've never served
check
on the
out with
committee. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, they had to check out with the secretary right after they finished speaking.
Okay.
So they could log down what they spoke about and their name and their time
Okay.
period.
All right.
Thank you for that clarification. I think that is helpful.
That is helpful.
Janera.
Hello there. Sorry, y'all. So about subcommittee invited testimony. So this is my 4th LP committee serving on, and in my first 2 LP committees, we did break out into subcommittees. Dan is correct. We did not last time. But during those subcommittees, it was important to have invited testimony. I believe it was Richard who mentioned that he's with in Bob Hall's district. And we actually had in one of our subcommittees, Senator Hall come in and help us formulate some of our priorities. Also, I want to add that when we were testifying, people just came in and testified about whatever they wanted to. There was no designated time for the whole body. People just showed up and talked about whatever they wanted during the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Patrick, thank you for waiting.
Thank you very much. Patrick Bondo on SD 25. We appreciate clarification on invited testimony, especially for SREC members who are not part of the LP committee. Would you advise on that again?
So again, we will allow the committee to invite testimony, and that will be up to the committee to vote on that and approve it. If we want subcommittees to be able to have invited testimony, then we can certainly write that into the rules as well. I think it's be good practice just to have that in the rules if we're going to do it. So if we have consensus here tonight, we can get that, we can get that added to our standing rules that we can adopt on Monday.
Very good.
Okay. Debbie, you've been waiting. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm unplugged. Sorry.
That's okay.
Debbie Duke, SD 22. So I concur with Janera. Last time we did not manage topics because that's nearly impossible with the way that people attend and check in. And the way that we extended conversation was that we asked questions. If it was a engaging topic and an engaging testimony, then we had questions come from the committee members that extended the conversation. So I think that's good to kind of note that that's how people get some extra time. And if you have an expertise that you're not on the committee and you know of people that are coming, you should communicate with that committee and tell them this is somebody that you have that you would like to see come in as invited testimony. So just communication's good.
Yes, and we do have that in the possible rules to be adopted, that questions can be asked, a limited number of questions can be asked of the testifiers. And so what I'm hearing is that we would like to have invited testimony for subcommittees and the committee as a whole.
That's what we did. And I had a comfort level with that they came in and talked to our smaller committee, because we're just able to gather more information in a small group than you are in a large group, and have opportunity to the large group. It's not like it's limited, but it's just helpful.
All right, well, then we will add that to the rules to be adopted when we get started on Monday at 11. So as soon as we get that added to the rules, I'll send an updated rules package out to everyone to look over ASAP. Okay, we need to move on. If there's something else, then let's use the email message thread to add to, if there's something else on rules. Let's move to the committee schedule. Everyone should have received that proposed schedule for Monday through Thursday. You know, we're going to have the subcommittees on meeting in related topics groups on that day. We'll be meeting just inside of our room. We're gonna, you know, circle up some chairs and meet. It's not, we're not gonna have our own rooms to meet in. That's not been arranged for us. So we're gonna make the best of our space and use that, and break off into our related topics and work on each one of those items as your committee, your related topics committee sees fit. That will be up to y'all how you do that. That subcommittees list has been released. You guys are welcome to communicate with one another if y'all want to go ahead and put those in an order that you'd like to discuss, or how you want to tackle that. I think, you know, that's something that you can go ahead and be doing now. Does anyone have questions about the schedule? Because I'd like to get that published so that people can start making arrangements for when they want to come and testify. Eileen.
I just have a quick point of clarification. Obviously,
Mhm.
most of us are on more than one subcommittee. Are we dividing
Yes.
that subcommittee time in half and calling them out? You know, how are we organizing that?
Yes, we will. That's something that we'll need to talk about, how we want to break that off, because I did put everyone into of those because we just had to break the work out somehow. So that's something we can go ahead and talk about now. And I did
It
give,
seems like we almost have to break that time block into two and then say.
right,
okay,
yeah, and
number-
it is, yeah. It is 2 hours. So yeah, if we want to say, okay, we're going to have the 1 hour to work on your first committee and then the second hour to
Mhm.
switch over. And we can get that organized behind the scenes. That's not something we need to do right now. That's, yeah. Anyone else have a comment on that item? Rolando,
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I get a
go
quick
ahead.
question. First of all, have you determined who the subcommittee leads will be, or will we vote on that on
That's gonna be
Monday?
up to y'all. That's gonna be up to y'all, and y'all can talk amongst yourselves about that before Monday. If y'all want to start talking about that in your groups, that's gonna be something that y'all can come to agreement on.
Perfect. And number two, Steve was in there a couple of times, and I don't know if there's more than one Steve in here. Is there any possibility we could put a last initial on that grouping?
Yes, I will go back and check through that and make sure it's specified. I apologize. Rolando?
Yes, I don't have the schedule in front of me, so you may already have included this, but the SREC is meeting on Wednesday from 3 to 4:30.
Okay, thank you. I never had gotten that date yet, or
Okay,
the
yeah.
time, I'm sorry.
It's in the schedule that they posted last night.
Okay,
So yeah, it's the meeting is from 3 to 4:30, so on Wednesday. So that would be a good time maybe to schedule testimony.
Hmm.
Hmm. 3 to 4:30, you say? Okay.
Yes.
I could flip. Yeah, I think we could accommodate that. I don't think that is an issue.
Okay, thank you.
How many SREC members do we have on the committee? Just
Me.
for fun?
Me, Ralph, Janeria, Dan. So 4.
4. Okay. So not too many.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, Janera, you had something on that?
Right. Hello. Okay. So, first off, I just want to say that I do want to hear all the testimony if possible, but I know we have scheduling conflicts. And there was one other thing, and I think I've already forgotten it. So, yeah, sorry about that. Thanks.
That's okay. If you think about it, just come back in and we'll try to see if we can address it. Okay, so what I'm hearing on the schedule is we will pop the public testimony into a time slot with 3 and 4:30 in order to accommodate SREC members. I do also want to note that at 3:00 we can begin picking up our credentials on Wednesday. So maybe we can go, a handful at a time and go and get those. So we're not having to stop work. We can keep working, but have people go ahead and be able to pick up their credentials on
Hey,
Wednesday.
Rachel, it was great last time. They actually brought our credentials to us in committee. So you might want to check into that.
Well, I have, and unfortunately, that is not going to be the case this time. So we will have to go down and get them, unfortunately. So that's just something that we're going to have to deal with. All right, let me switch back to my schedule here. Okay, anything else on the schedule before we leave that? Janera, your hand is still up. Did you have something?
Yes, I'm sorry. I remember.
That's okay.
I had forgotten. We were talking about committees, and I may be on 3 committees.
Okay, I'll double check yours as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so moving on to our next topic, then I have been receiving some emails from people who I need to verify that they're delegates, but that have, things that they'd like for us to consider. And I'm sure you all have been as well. And so we're gonna need to first off verify that those people are delegates. And then secondly, if they have information that will help us as a committee, we need to be able to consider it. So we don't have access to a delegate list that I'm aware of at this point, and able to verify that those people are delegates. So I don't want to wait until we have that binder on Monday to get this information to you all if you haven't received some of these emails. Okay, great. I see a message from Lauren that we can send the names to her and she can, or someone, and they can, yes, okay, it's in the chat. You can send the names to Lauren and she can verify that they're delegates. And then once we have done that, we can share those in our email thread so that we're making sure that we're getting information that will be useful to us as a committee. And then let's see, I've reached out to our fellow committee chairs about members of our committee going to testify in their committees and members of their committees coming to testify in ours. But as of today, I've not heard back from them yet. So I'm trying. And hopefully we'll be able to arrange that for those of you who wish to go and testify before other committees. And I'm sure there are people on the other committees who'd like to come and give testimony before us as well. So it's a work in progress, and I'm hoping to hear back from those other chairs so that we can do it in an organized fashion. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on tonight is the submission process. I want to remind everyone that this is the first time that the Republican Party has had the SDs submit their legislative priorities in order to compile those for us. And that is the working spreadsheet that we have been using and organizing. But that is not the only tool or resource available to us. It is a starting point and it's great, but I've had a couple of reports of people who feel like their submission was incomplete or that it wasn't received at all. And so I've been trying to direct those people to staff to rectify that situation. And I'm not trying to say that it's, correct or not, because I don't know. I received a spreadsheet and I made a copy of it and we have been working off of that. But we have procedures to adopt resolutions in committee and add them on. We just have to do it in that official manner. So when we get to committee, we can pass resolutions. And I have a feeling that we're going to, because that's something that the committee has always done before. So there are just going to be things that resolutions that pertain to topics that just aren't there yet, and we'll be passing resolutions, and hopefully people in your respective SDs have been reaching out to you and communicating with you about priority topics that they'd like for us to consider. So does anyone have any, questions or thoughts or comments on that as we begin to wrap up? Go ahead, Brian.
Brian, you're on mute. Nobody can hear you.
Thank you, Dan. I'm an idiot. I forgot to unmute myself. Sorry. Are we going to stay? We had that come up last time that we had other priorities come out in the room, and we reformulated last time. Also, are we going to stay with 8 or are we going to go to 10? Or are we going to cut back to 7?
As far as I know, we are going to be adopting 8 on the floor once we present our 15. That would be,
Okay.
that would have to be a rule change, and it wouldn't take effect until the next convention, is my understanding. So,
Okay.
so our job is the 15, and then after that, it's the will of the delegates from there. And hopefully they're happy with our report.
Yep.
Richard.
Yeah, thank you, Chairwoman. So there were, I know our county did submit and went through a process of legislative priorities from our county. I don't know that all counties did, but this is the first time we've done it. Would, I guess early in the process, I think you had said that Monday, our goal is to get it down to 30. If there were some counties or Senate districts that submitted legislative parties that have already passed through delegates at a county convention, would they be given some type of priority going forward to make that 30 cut? I think is kind of my question for the group, or you may already have some rules that address that. So any ideas on how that would proceed would be my question.
So I think that would be at the discretion of the subcommittees to, because, I'm sorry, let me flip back to the schedule 1 second here. So we're going to begin hearing public testimony 11:15 to 11:30 or 12:30, and then we will break into the subcommittees. If your subcommittee has some resolution that they would like to adopt, they're going to need to present it before the entire committee to be approved as a resolution. I believe it's how that would work. So we need to get the right topics to the right people to consider.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Dan?
Last session, we had the issue that on the Wednesday and the Thursday during the last of our stuff on Wednesday when we voted the 15, the latter part of the discussion late of an evening like that, we had the opportunity, we went back to something that we had in the first 30 that we had that got cut, and it got reworded a little bit and added in as one of the 15, and we dropped one out. That was possible there, I believe it, and I believe also on when we did the permanent committee, there was significant modification to a couple of the priorities, added some language and changed it around, and there was some discussion about even supplementing one that had been previous dropped out of the grouping back into the top 15. So just be aware of that there will be a push to do that, because when that first 15 comes out Wednesday night, Thursday, when we're in our SD meetings, you're going to get all kinds of questions about it. So, be prepared for that. And they're going to ask why this and not this. And the committee members need to be able to help address that issue. You're going to get inundated with a lot of people asking you, well, why did this happen versus the other one? So just be prepared for that. And, with your own notes, mental notes and stuff of the top 15 and why some of them that didn't make the top 15 didn't make it, why one's more important than the other. And some of it's just pure numeric voting that we do to be able to reduce the volume down. So I hope everybody understands that that's going to be there'll be a pressure point on Thursday to do that.
Right, and that will be at the discretion of the committee. So
Correct.
that is up to y'all. Thank you for that, Dan. That's a great point. Paul?
Trying to get the mute button, sorry. Have you determined how you're going to do SurveyMonkey, how you're going to do your voting?
We are going to have some Google forms that are going to be available
Okay.
to us
Yeah,
to vote. Yes.
You've got that nailed down. Very good, because that takes a lot of time sometimes. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. Any other questions before our wrap up here? We've got 2 minutes remaining. All right, great. Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to do 3 meetings before we actually get to work on Monday, but I feel like it's been time well spent, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you in Houston. Oh, Dan, you got something real quick?
Just a reminder to everybody on the committee, those rooms are normally cold. For those that are hot, you'll be comfortable. For those of us that get cold pretty easy, dress appropriately. And since you'll be inside the convention center all the time, the perfect temperature for Houston is 70 degrees. Having lived there for 8 years, you run from one air conditioned space to another all the time in the summer. So just be prepared for it, and be sure you bring liquid with you.
Yeah, and be sure and share your tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff over in the Signal chat. That's a great place for those kinds of reminders, Dan. So please feel free to use that, guys. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. You could make a Signal chat for your subcommittees if you guys want to. Great idea, Rachel. Thank you. All right. With that, we are going to sign off, and thank you, everyone.